So tonight again, Texas and Iowa, they'll meet at 10 Eastern. That game can be seen on ESPN2 for the championship of the Guardians Classic. The National Association of Basketball Coaches, of course, underwrite this event. And indeed, the coaches are the guardians of the game. And Steve, we should point out,
intensity here in early November or mid-November before we even get to Thanksgiving, Brent. A great field. And remember, 2 of these teams played in regional finals. So our consolation game is made up of regional finalists from last year. That's the level of competition here at the Guardians. No one wants to go home 0-2. That's a tough donut hole to dig yourself out of.
And what about our star watch for this first game tonight, Steve?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Gansey for West Virginia, outstanding player. No question about it. He could beat you so many different ways. But before we get there, how about Raquelin Sims from long distance, inside and out? You see Gansey now slash into the bucket. 28 points last night. This is going to be a special matchup of forwards. Raquelin Sims with the start tonight. Got the green light from Tubby Smith.
And Aaron Andrews, we've got some interesting characters here tonight.
An interesting character and another star, of course, to watch for on UK side of things. Rajon Rondo, what a night he had last night. 19 boards, a career high for him, the most a point guard has ever grabbed in a single game, and the most a UK player has grabbed in 12 years. Now, we talked about it last night, guys. One of his weapons, Rajon's weapons, his hands. I think Lav said it looks like he embraces a grapefruit in that basketball. Which one is Rajon and which one's the center? You guys have already seen this, but check it out. There's Rajon on the right. Unbelievable, those hands, guys.
Indeed. And, you know, you made so many interesting points about the size of that hand. I thought the most interesting was the fact that it can affect your shooting. It's sometimes tough when you get the ball very deep into that mitt.
Tough to cradle it. It is like a Johnny Bench or a Thurman Munson catcher's mitt-size hand. But there are some advantages to it as well. Defensively, in terms of deflections and just the length of Rajon Rondo as a 6'1" player gives him some great advantages.
Great quickness. And he's out there with Sparks, Moss, Perry, and Sims. Tubby Smith again alters his starting lineup. Familiar 5 for the Mountaineers. Collins, Airbear, Gansey, Young, and of course Kevin Pittsnogle, number 34. It'll be interesting to see how the Wildcats elect to defend here tonight. John Beilein, the Mountaineer coach, is expecting to see some zone, but Kentucky will have the first possession. Their dark jerseys, and Perry's on the floor as their starter tonight. Sparks, the gunner, gives it up. Here's Rondo. Perry takes it in on Pittsnogle and scores the game's first hurdle.
Right out of the gate, a good sign. Kentucky crisp with ball movement, now picking up with full court pressure. Good dump down in the post, going inside on your first possession. A positive sign for the Wildcats.
Tubby very deep, so he opens up with full court pressure after the maiden field goal. Neither of these teams want to leave here 0-2. Pittsnogle in low, triple team, ties it.
Nice little jump hook for the big fella. Important that he gets off to a positive start after missing those free throws late in the game yesterday. Sometimes your spirit or confidence is a little bit down. Here's that 1-3-1 trapping defense by West Virginia.
Cross to Sparks. They're quickly all over the outside shooter, especially Sparks. Offensive foul on Sparks. Everett did a fine job for Coach Beilein in drawing that foul, and the ball goes to the Mountaineers.
Play that 1-3-1 zone has a lot of different looks. Sometimes it looks like a 2-1-2 or a 2-3. Sometimes they trap out of it. Sometimes they play it solid. But it's basically 1-3-1 with different alignments.
Collins trying to penetrate, kicks, and now Pittsnogle steps outside, and he has 2 early hoops in this game.
Sign a smart team to get Pittsnogle involved early, get him feeling good, get him in the flow.
Sparks 3 rims out into Pittsnogle's hands. Cross now to Young. Fade, got it. Good positive start by the Mountaineers, 6-2 lead. Sims, the JC transfer, he was the best player for Tubby last night. Not there. And Going the other way. So here is Tubby, and obviously this is a work in progress with this team, isn't it, Coach?
You're still searching for combinations, searching for an identity, a style of play that this team could be successful with. That's what these early season games are for. But at Kentucky, not a lot of patience from the fan base for anything but wins.
Gansey's three. He had a terrific game last night. He had 28 points. He was 12 of 20. At West Virginia, red hot. They've made all 4 of their shots so far against the Wildcats. Moss, who started trying to slash in, was knocked away from Sims. J.D. Collins getting back there quickly.
Good hands by J.D. Collins. One of the goals in the locker room, dry erase board for Coach Beeline and staff, was to get more deflections out of their zone defense tonight than they did last night. Active hands and feet important in zone defense.
Shot clock down to 10, Steve.
Like an accordion, we'll see the defense extended and then collapse at times. Ball goes inside like a Venus flytrap. You'll see West Virginia get on the glass.
Shot clock violation. West Virginia basketball 9-2. They have built a 7-point lead against Tubby's Cats.
It's different looks, similar to a good baseball pitcher. A change-up, curveball, fastball, you sneak in there, a slider. A lot of different looks this West Virginia team gives you, and that's part of what disrupts the team's rhythm. Then you got to come down here and chase them around the floor like hamsters for 35 seconds. Not easy to play this West Virginia squad.
Very well schooled in the system. Collins turned it over. Palming, point of emphasis this year. Kentucky ball.
We talked about the identity crisis. Easy to forget. Not only did they lose Chuck Hayes and Kalena Azubuike, who declared early as underclassmen. Randolph Morris, Chuck Hayes graduated, but those other 2 declared as underclassmen. That's a big blow to lose those 3 players. They were integral, big cause in last year's attack.
Sparks nets the 3 ball.
Good skip pass.
Young on a catch and shoot. Sims rebounds. Mountaineers are not giving Rondo maneuvering room as he comes down the floor. They're not letting him slash quickly. He has great speed. Rondo, the 3 off the glass, and that could turn him into a superstar.
You don't see a banker from behind the 3-point line very often in basketball. You got to call those, but they'll take them.
Snuggles open, he can nail it. Not this time. Here's Moss, the 3. 1 and done. Gansey pushes the 3 on 2. Air Bear. He misfires. And a pushing foul, though, is going to be called against Kentucky. So the Mountaineers break out on top. Kevin Pittsnoggle in low. Gansey, the 3. But Rondo, the bank is open. And the Wildcats are right back in it. We've got a timeout here in Kansas City. SPNU, and you know, last March the Mountaineers had a magical March run. They knocked off powerful Boston College and Villanova on a run to the championship game at the Big East tournament. They lost the final to Syracuse, but they qualified for the big dance. And once they were in it, they beat Creighton, Wake Forest, Texas Tech, reached the regional final, and then lost in overtime to Louisville. And what a dance it was. Creighton by 2. They went 2 overtimes before they eliminated Chris Paul and Wake. Then the general was out 65-60, and Rick Pitino just barely got past them in overtime. They were one of the great exciting teams of last March, and Pittsnagel will take a break right now. So he's off, and Rob Summers will check in. He's a big body against this zone defense of Kentucky. And Aaron, I think everybody became a West Virginia fan
during that run. Yeah, you're right, Brent, they did. It's interesting because Patrick Beeline and Mike Gansey of West Virginia, they have a picture of when Louisville beat them hanging on their bathroom mirror so they can look at it every day. It's a picture of Rick Pitino and his team celebrating and a message written across it. How did you feel? So they can look at it every single day and remember how they felt.
So Sparks takes his outside game and drives for the hoop.
A nifty teardrop. Little man among the trees.
He puts the Wildcats up 10-9.
This is a good idea by Kentucky to play a little bit of zone defense. Try and get West Virginia out of it.
Beeline coach's son misses the three. Gansey fouled on the offensive rebound. Perry backing into him. Coach Beeline told me he expected to see Tubby zone in this game here tonight. And right after the timeout, he is looking at this zone. Checking in now for the Wildcats is Sherry Thomas, number 23. Perry will sit down after the foul. Let's see how the Mountaineers solve it, Steve, if they go to the penetration or just try to fire one up from the outside.
Important they get someone to the high post in the short corner. Those are the sweet spots around the attack in the zone defense. See Air Bear flashing there at the high post. Post players taking turns flashing into the high post.
Beeline missed the three. Foul called on Mountaineers. Over it goes.
If you go to a zone defense, West Virginia standing a little bit more than they do in their traditional man-to-man offensive patterns. Not as crisp in their ball movement, their screening, their spacing, their timing.
Pittsnagel, but out of bounds was Wanda. West Virginia basketball on the turnover.
So interesting to watch in these types of games. Basketball is a game of counters, both on the floor, over the course of the game, from game to game, different stages of the season. Tubby Smith willing to show some flexibility here, counter with a little bit of zone, extending defensively.
Well, 5 consecutive misses and a pair of turnovers here for the Mountaineers, so they are struggling right now against the Kentucky D, down a point.
Possession here, but Kentucky extending the dead ball full court and then back into their zone.
Sticking with the long ball, and Summers runs down the offensive rebound. Nichols just off the bench. He misfires. Rondo in a foot race, got numbers. Sparks inside and back to Rondo, who'll pull it out. Here's Sims, nails the three.
Kalen Sims brings such a solid base. Shot starts from the floor up, the feet, the legs. It's great lift. Good knee bang extension.
This zone has caused the Mountaineers a problem. They haven't been able to solve it with any kind of a long ball yet. Gansey will try the three. Sims battling. Summers taken away by Kentucky. Good hustle. Here's Rondo. The Sparks three. Yeah. And Kentucky on a 14-0 run. They were trailing 9-2 when this began, and it is 16-9 Wildcats.
Little matchup zone defense here by Kentucky.
And the run is alive. Here comes Sparks again. They have now missed 9 straight threes. Kentucky turns it over on the pass from Rondo. The three-baller story, 9 straight misses for the Mountaineers, and Sparks nails one for Kentucky. Timeout in Kansas City. In the course of the season, the ESPN family of networks will showcase a great basketball moment from all 326 Division I schools. Countdown's going to take us from A to Z, and time now for ESPNU's pride of the program. And tonight in the spotlight, Baylor. 1948 was a special year for Bill Henderson and the Bears, a Southwest Conference title, and a trip to the Final Four. There, a comeback win over Kansas State, and Baylor's first and only trip to the NCAA championship game. Kentucky on a run. They're going to try their big youngster, Jared Carter. Number 43 checks in, and Kevin Pittsnuggle returns for the Mountaineers. They would suffer whiplash right now with this Kentucky run, Coach.
Well, they get some stops, some shutouts. They're in rhythm offensively.
Teams playing West Virginia checking this zone out. They'll be using a lot of zone against it. They get it inside the Pittsnuggle. They surround him and tie it up. They keep the ball. The possession arrow favors West Virginia.
Good swarm to the post. Kentucky taking advantage of the three-point line. And tonight,
1 of 10.
West Virginia struggling.
Stay with it. Missing again. Pittsnuggle with an offensive rebound.
You know, West Virginia's gotten some open looks, but what a zone will do sometimes is take you out of your offensive rhythm and flow. And West Virginia is very much a rhythm team.
Traveling. 16-9.
West Virginia came out crisp. Good counter, good adjustment by Tubby Smith. Sometimes coaches let their pride or ego get in the way, and they'll be afraid to go to his own defense. I think the best coaches in the business are willing to show some flexibility at both ends of the floor and adapt and adjust to your team, to opponents.
Bradley, Thomas, Sparks. And now it's turned over. Here comes coach's son, Beeline. They have not been able to get any dribble penetration against this zone.
Become very stagnant as well offensively.
Going to try to feed Pittsnuggle. Tough pass to Young. And a tough shot, Kentucky basketball. And another. Joe Crawford this time. 19-9. Kentucky builds a 10-point lead. They have hit. Look at that 3 difference. Big story in this game.
Take a look at the zone defense, Brent, really causing West Virginia problems. A matchup zone. They'll go with certain cutters. Good job of communicating. High hands defensively. Active hands here with deflection. A good swarm to the post. Jamming up cutters. Alert and aggressive. Good communication. Bumping cutters. We saw Texas really struggle against West Virginia's matchup zone.
Well, that 17-0 run is still alive, Steve. Sparks is going to try to make it 20, and he does. A 20-0 Kentucky run and timeout. The best stretch of basketball turned in by any of the very good 4 teams that are here at the Guardians Classic. A 20-0 Kentucky run. They're up 22-9. Timeout.
The NBA on ESPN. It's a Wednesday night showdown between 2 West Suns versus...
Steve, how tough is it for West Virginia to get backdoor cuts against this zone?
Well, what they've done an effective job of, Kentucky now has people in the lane. They're jumping to the ball. They're congesting that lane that is usually wide open. When you chase West Virginia in a man-to-man, they open up the lane. The basket area becomes vulnerable for back cuts, dribble penetration, isolations. Very effective defense here for Kentucky they've settled into.
A very tough time to go ice cold beyond the arc, too. They have taken the Mountaineers out of their game. If they'd have nailed some of those threes, they would have forced Kentucky to come out after them. But as it is, Tubby says, no way until you prove you can make me come out of this. And Sparks gets a hand on it. Mountaineer ball.
West Virginia just not as crisp offensively. You see the indecision, some hesitation. Not as sharp as last night and the way they came out early in this game. They got to refine that rhythm.
Over 7 on the shot when they got the ball in bounds. Gansey deep 3, no. That's what, 1 of 15. Here's Sparks bringing it down.
We've seen Tubby Smith employ effective zones throughout his career.
Stopped by Pittsnogle. He's a project for Tubby and the Kentucky coaching staff. There's Pittsnogle. That should end it, and it does. And it was the penetration by Gansey coming down the baseline that did it. It ends a 20-0 Kentucky run.
Pittsnogle says he spent a lot of time working on his hook shots. His jump hook, back to the basket hooks. Off-season, trying to add a different weapon to his offensive arsenal.
Nice pass from Sparks.
Sparks has been sharp. Kind of a quiet night last night. Responded well this evening. I just love watching coaches that are willing to use their ingenuity and make adjustments. Just so defense an example of that tonight.
Nichols on the free throw line. He drew the foul on the drive. Sparks is known as a gunner and not a playmaker. But you wouldn't know it by that highlight right there as he feeds Thomas for the wraparound. 24-11. We've got a timeout.
My call back in the U studios. Gonzaga took down Maryland last night. Is at Michigan State tonight. Yes, if Adam Morrison can do anything about it. A little jumper here gives him 15. 4 points away from 1,000 in his career. Zags lead. Let's go back to Brent Musburger and Steve Esteban Lavin.
Yeah, Mike, and he's a 5 player. Morrison. That's a very, very good game there. And Aaron, tell us some more about young Patrick Sparks.
Well, Brent, Lav mentioned Patrick Sparks looking very, very sharp. Had a quiet night last night, helping Kentucky on that 20-0 run, 11 points so far. I was talking to assistant coach Reggie Hansen before the game, and they said they stressed to Patrick today. He's got to do a better job of getting some shots, finding some open looks. It's funny because Tubby Smith during the SEC media days this year said he likes the offensive end of things. We got to find a happy medium with him and get him to work on his defense as well, guys.
You know, on a quick turnaround, I was thinking how tough it would be to play West Virginia and their offense, how unorthodox it is. But Tubby and the coaching staff went to work and came up with a plan, and so far it has worked to a T. That's a sign of a good coaching staff.
There's no question. Being able to adapt and adjust to your personnel and to opponents. The chess match over the course of the season. Different stages down the road. Kentucky may be able to play predominantly man-to-man. Sometimes you have to find a way to get a win. Make an adjustment in your defense or your offense to get that done.
J.D. Collins back on the floor. The point guard for West Virginia. Thomas misses. There's the defensive rebound by Gansey. Fine play. What a terrific game he played last night. Collins is out there. Airbear's back on the floor. Pittsnogle. Gansey. Collins will try the 3. Not there. And Young with an offensive rebound.
West Virginia has to do a better job of ball movement, not being so hesitant. Spacing. You can still screen the top of that zone.
Getting low to Pittsnogle. That's twice they've gone down low against this. And back to within 10.
So often teams settle against the zone for standstill jump shots. That's what the zone wants you to do. You have to resist that, be willing to get deeper into possessions, find a gap and a seam to flash into, dribble, penetrate into the jaws of the defense, get two to guard, long kick.
One of the things, Coach, is very deep Kentucky is a guard. There is Rondo put it down on the floor for the layup. But you take a look at who he's got out there. Bradley's, Rondo's, Crawford. There's a little bit of that wing swing spot. I mean, he's very, very deep in the backcourt.
Well, multiple players.
Drive by Collins and a beautiful block by Crawford, and they call the foul. Tubby does not agree with this call. How about you? Do you agree with this?
Boy, I guess maybe after down low, ball was out of his hands. Might have got him with the body, not up high.
I thought it was a body.
Yep.
And Tubby's getting his money's worth over there. Take a look at the body here on this lower
collision.
angle.
Well, right there.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think that's a good call for that.
Crew doesn't miss many.
No, this crew's done very well. Brian Kersey, Mike Eads, Roger Ayers. Write those three names down. Quality officials out here tonight. Up 10, 26-16. Crawford rims out battle, and here comes Collins again. Now it is the wet Mountaineers trying to get a little run going.
It's in transition defense. Like Kentucky's been organized.
Collins got that open look, passed it up. But Young won't. Off to the right. Tap back Gansey. Got it again. Kept that ball alive.
Zone defense is vulnerable. Rebounds, offensive boards. Find a person in your zone. Put a body on it. In your area of the zone.
Squeeze one of their gunners to start knocking them down. Gansey, the pass wasn't perfect, but Gansey stayed with it for the layup. That's back to 8. Timeout. Coach Beilein has to be happy by this little spurt, and Tubby is unhappy. 4:43 left in the first half, and Kentucky on a 20-0 run, taking the lead on West Virginia in the battle for third place here in the Guardians Classic. A little bit later tonight on ESPN2, it will be Iowa and Texas. The Longhorns ranked number 2 in the country, and a reminder that Cleveland State and the North Carolina Tar Heels will be coming up here on ESPNU. So the defending national champions will be in the Dean Dome against Cleveland State. How about North Carolina, Steve? Give me a little preview. Rebuilding year, for coach.
Without a doubt, but Roy Williams, one of the best. He has a winning approach to basketball that he can take anywhere, take any group of players, give him enough time to teach, to work with his team, to implement a system, and they will be dangerous by the late stages of this year. Tyler Hansborough is a load, a legitimate big-time impact player. North Carolina just reloads. They don't rebuild, but this is somewhat of a rebuilding year after losing 4 first-rounders. Against Gardner-Webb. Fortunate to win that.
Here comes Moss, and he's covered up by Pittsnagel, forcing the turnover, and Young will go for the layup. Right back in it now, trailing by 6. This is a 9-2 Mountaineer run, so they're trying to keep it going. There they are. Got it back. Beautiful move by Thomas.
Tubby going right back to Sparks.
Moss's pull-up.
You mentioned it, Brent. A lot of different combinations. Tubby Smith has multiple players who can pass and catch, put it on the floor, create, make decisions at high speed. Quick pressing lineups.
Owens is going to kick it. Pittsnagel, you've just been Pittsnagel. 28-23, it's a 5-point lead.
Maturity of Pittsnagel to come back out after a disappointing performance.
And Moss back-to-back J's.
Nice mid-range jumper. So often you see players over-penetrate, try and take it inside and force something. Instead of just pulling up. That little mid-range 10-footer, 8-footer, nothing wrong with that. High percentage play.
Knocked out of bounds. 3 minutes left here in the first half. We're going to take a break. When you come on back, you'll see if Kentucky can hold on to this 7-point advantage with 3 to go in the first half. All right, Mike, thank you very much. And the Spartans have already lost 1 game in Hawaii. That was before the Maui Classic started. So Gonzaga has them on the ropes. You cannot say any longer that Gonzaga could be a sleeper. No sleeper. It's a big-time program.
Mark Few, 159 and 37. Those are some staggering numbers. 81% of his games he's won throughout his career. That's #1 of all active coaches in the country. Bill Williams is second at 80.
Turnover. Sparks puts it on the floor for the Wildcats. Moss. Did they give it back? No, he picks it up. Sparks from the corner, ever in doubt. But a foul is called as Sims goes to put it back in. He'll be on the free throw line.
Nice job of Rakalen Sims inside. Good pump fake. Wisely able to draw the foul with that little shot fake. Get himself to the foul line. You know, Gonzaga does have a basketball program. Their staff continuity, a system in place, the understanding of recruiting players that fit that system, their skill development from year to year is impressive, turning out NBA players.
And if their point guard needs any schooling, they can always call one Mr. John Stockton. Not too bad to have that in your Rolodex in the coach's office. Here it's the Mountaineers searching for some answers against this tenacious Kentucky zone. Really turned this game around, didn't it? Rivera got that. Here's Young. Kicks for the corner. Turned to a dangerous pass.
Tough pass. You might want to jump stop that, reverse pivot, try and get the ball back outside, and maybe not even take it in there to begin with. You're forcing the action.
He just told Young to reverse the ball. You need to read the coach's lips on that. Rondo bringing it down. The point guard down. He checks with Tully.
This whole defense really congests the lane, the basket area, forcing West Virginia to rely on perimeter shots.
Sims. And foul is going to be called on Kentucky. Jared Carter. That's number 2 on him. And Patrick Beeline, number 3, checks back in for the Mountaineers. Air Bear will sit down. The Mountaineers still have not gotten into that long-range stroke that they like. Coach says, you know, you can shoot it whenever you're open. That's part of the attack. And he told me before the game that when he was teaching and coaching places where he did not have great athletes, that's why he went to that style of an offense. And now he's got athletes, he incorporates a few more things with it. And it's been very successful for him. His son just fired up an air ball from deep in the corner.
Close the window, drafting here. Clearly, just not in sync, not in rhythm, and this is a rhythm team, West Virginia. Give Kentucky credit. Their defense has something to do with that.
Rondo off iron. Back to him. Moss off iron. Knocked away. Again, Kentucky. Sparks penetrates, kick, Sims, and finally Pittsnoggle will clear it out. Missed opportunity for Kentucky that time. Pittsnoggle under pressure, in and out. Moss. And one. Carter works his way to the free throw line.
Surprised Kentucky didn't want to work for one shot on that last possession, but a fortuitous weak side rebound by Carter and the putback inside. And it works out for Kentucky.
Carter looking to make it a 10 here again, Coach.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Got to boost his spirits, you know. He's a project, no question about it. Gets an ovation from the Wildcat fans as he goes out. They like what they saw. Thomas replaces him. Those fans are some of the most knowledgeable in the country, and they know that Tubby needs some size. Lost those veterans. He needs big men to help out with his very talented backcourt. Good comeback performance here so far. I've been impressed with what they've done defensively. Young under pressure, nails the 3-ball. The first half comes to an end, so that 20-0 run by Kentucky. They knocked down 6 of 10, and West Virginia only 3 of 20 from behind the arc. So those are the most impressive statistics as far as the first half is concerned. And let's go to Aaron with Coach Beeline. Aaron?
All right, Brent. Coach, the zone, huge key for Kentucky in that first half. How were they able to be so effective?
Well, you know, it's a funny zone. It's one we haven't seen from them. They're matching up at times, sort of playing half man, half zone. We'll have to make some adjustments here at halftime.
What adjustments will you make?
Well, try to just play ball, look for cutters, try to get their big guy out of the paint a little bit. It's something we haven't seen yet this year, so it took us by surprise, and hopefully we can adjust it during the 10 minutes we have now.
All right, Coach, thanks. Brent?
Yeah, very interesting. A little bit of the lead. And, you know, Steve, the last time that Kentucky missed a 3-point shot in a basketball game, get this now, 15 years ago. But even more remarkable is that UNLV has 601 straight games. They've never played a basketball game out there without hitting at least one 3-point shot. We had a pretty good 3-point artist for Kentucky in this game.
You cease to amaze me. The basketball historian, Brent, never ends digging through those media guides. Patrick Sparks from long range after a quiet night has responded. It's what you like to see. How about this? A little put it on the floor teardropper. And then Pittsnoggle, disappointing last night, missing the free throws and a heartbreaking loss. But you like to see the resiliency in the big fella stepping away from the bucket. He can drain it. Long bomber. And also the baby hook gets the soft carom and roll. Gotta love that shooter's touch.
So what a difference a night makes, huh? This is the Guardians Classic. It was created back in 2001, a 2-week exempt tournament consisting of 4 regional sites, hosted at campuses across the country, and the 4 winners have come here. You're watching the battle for 3rd place between West Virginia and Kentucky. Later, Iowa and Texas for the title. Couldn't put it away on a beautiful cut, but the tap in's good.
Nice second effort. And Sims on the glass. Good timing on that tip-in. First 5 minutes, always critical. You know the coach has given specific instructions. Teams come out and try and execute that plan.
And Pittsnoggle from the right corner buries a 3 to make it a 6-point game. Sparks to answer and does just that.
Nice shooting pocket, catch and shoot. Good shot preparation. See Kentucky in full court pressures. Patrick Sparks with his feet squared, down and ready on the catch, right into the shot. Quick trigger. Mr. Sparks.
Aggressive matching up out of that zone, making it tough. Collins, the open man, misses into Rondo's hands. 19 rebounds last night. As far as anybody can figure out, that was a record for a Kentucky guard. Fouled by Young, and Aaron, what did Coach Smith have to say as he came out of the locker room?
Coach Smith in a lot better mood than last night, guys, as you can imagine. He said he was happy with the way his team was active, very active with their hands, moving a lot more, penetrating more. He said he knew that this was a zone that West Virginia had not been familiar with so far this year. Looks to, in the second half, extend it a little more. He said one thing that concerns him is rebounding like it did last night, guys.
He's getting serious, Aaron. You take that suit coat off. Tubby's getting ready. Now, gotta get that tie a little bit loose, man. He can see the pit snuggles of the world coming after him.
Still not a wrinkle in that presentation, though, huh? Wow. One of the natty dressers in all of college basketball, Mr. Tubby Smith.
Pit snuggle underneath. He'll be on the free throw line. Shooting a pair. Moscotti. Now this is earlier, the pregame, and he works the line, and he coaches, helps the officials.
Great passion, great intensity. Talk about guarding the games and really the spirit behind that in terms of coaches being role models, winning with integrity, setting a good example in terms of sportsmanship. And I think Tubby Smith at the top of college basketball, right there with Krzyzewski and the Lute Olsons, a statesman, an ambassador in a college game.
He got some great teachers. And there is Sparks. Too small, too slow, couldn't play at this level. He has proven everybody wrong.
Such an efficient, tight stroke. Not a lot of movement. Catch and shoot. Very tight shooting pocket, tight stroke. Less margin for error when you have a stroke like that.
Puts it down. Cut off by Bear, and here he is again. Pittsnoggle with the defensive rebound. Off to Collins. Hit man as Bear is going to crash. Follow Gansey on the right side. Two Mountaineers down. Sparks will work the baseline, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Collins. Low, didn't he?
Little unintended alley hoop off the glass. No iron, but a nice putback by Gansey. He's got to practice his landings if he wants to get a 10 off the vault.
Coach.
Very aggressive. Once you've hit a couple threes and stretch defense, that opens up your draw and kick game. Sparks really demonstrated.
And Gansey nails the three ball, Steve. That'll get him right back in this.
Well, so often we see that Gansey picked up some garbage on that weak side rebound, gets the putback, get back in the flow. Now that leads to a three-pointer. We saw P.J. Tucker last night get into the flow after a breakaway layup, got hot in the second half. What a difference in the backcourts this evening.
Gansey knocks it out of bounds.
Trading baskets here, Brett, but it was a game of runs in the first half, and basketball really is a game of runs. West Virginia came out of the blocks on a 9-2 run. Kentucky goes in that 20-0 run. West Virginia counters with a 9-2 run. Now trading baskets here in the second half. Always felt as a coach, if we could have 3 runs over the course of the game, you had a chance to put a team away. If there's 5 runs, you make 3 of those runs, you got the edge.
Air ball from Perry into Pittsnoggle's hands, and Bear is going to try to make him pay at the other end. It does. Right here now, ball game time, 41-38. Wrap around left hand's good from Rondo. Margins 5. Likes to start in the left corner and then slash through. They move it to him in the right corner for the 3. Out of his real comfort zone is over here in the left corner. Rondo stolen back away. Gansey's lost it back. Easy for Rondo.
Wow. Pickpocket artist. Just a dart out there. Ball is never safe. You have to really focus on protecting the basketball when Rajon Rondo is on the floor.
Pittsnoggle. Big man's got a nice outside stroke. He's made it a 5 again, coming down to the 15-minute mark. Remember, in that first half, if you weren't with us, Kentucky went on a 20-0 run. West Virginia was without a point for 9 minutes and 26 seconds. That's your headline on this game. Sparks again. He is lighting them up. Kentucky's player of the match.
When he started shooting fadeaway jumpers, he almost took a seat on the bench next to the coaching staff there on that fadeaway jumper, but he's feeling it.
It's snuggle up a good fake. Rondo gets inside low. Thomas back. Strong offensive rebound and put back. Right away, Tubby working on the defense. Up 10 now, 14-17. Bear on the drive and one. Strong move by the Europeans, Steve.
Strong move and finish. Efficient, no wasted dribble. Point A to point B.
The difference for Kentucky, the 3-ball. Nobody better tonight than Patrick Sparks. But Air Bear trying to drive the Mountaineers back into it. It's an 8-point Kentucky lead. Emma home back. And the Kentucky fans started to dance a little bit in the aisles here. There have been so many great hometown heroes come through this program. How about Richie Farmer? Became one of the most popular Wildcats in history, had his jersey retired. And then Travis Ford, after transferring back home from Missouri, he became a fan favorite. He ran Rick Pitino's offense, and he's now the head coach at UMass. And then here tonight, we're watching Patrick Sparks, the transfer from Western Kentucky. He's earned his stripes thanks to big performances in big games like Louisville in the NCAA tournament. And here tonight, over there with the crowd, is another Kentucky hometown hero, very highly touted from Owensboro, Kentucky. Mr. Rex Chapman over there enjoying the dancing. He could light you up, Coach.
Instant offense.
And who was dancing over there? We are told that is Rajon Rondo's grandmother. Now we know where he got all these great moves, Coach.
That shake and bake right there.
That's it.
Change of direction, change of speed. All the skills on full display. We talked about great Kentucky players. How about some of the great staffs? Talking to Reggie Hansen, a current assistant who played at Kentucky 89, 90, 90, 91. Nice bucket by Thomas inside, jump hook, attacking it. But Rick Pitino's staff with Tubby Smith, Ralph Willard, Herb Sindek, Billy Donovan was a GA. Talk about a brain trust. Dave Hobbs, current assistant, very solid, former head coach at Alabama. And Scott Rougeau does a nice job of recruiting, as does Reggie Hansen. Tubby Smith's got a nice coaching staff.
Allen tries to penetrate and come to the free throw line. So let's go back and revisit Grandma here, huh?
Wow. How do you guard that, huh? Talk about head and shoulder fakes. Little Elgin Baylor
Now,
there, huh?
do you think that embarrasses Rondo, who's over on the bench?
No, he's got to love it.
Do you think he loves it?
Ah, the spirit, the enthusiasm, the passion. Where he gets his love of the game, love of life.
That away, huh? I wonder what Aaron thinks of those moves.
Good move. Those were some good moves, guys. Everybody over here, they were all screaming and clapping for her. And Tubby Smith's wife was going crazy. Said she doesn't usually do that at Rupp.
She's a road warrior, Aaron.
She is.
We got to get a shot.
That's what that Kansas City barbecue will do for you, kiddo.
We got to get a shot of the character sitting behind Aaron. Is Old Man in the Sea, or is it Spielberg?
It's got to be a
Kentucky
professor.
Wildcat fan.
English literature.
Wow, little French beret. Poet.
Sims outside, fires up an air ball. Well, West Virginia trying to sustain something. D-line missing off the iron. They have really struggled with the long ball here tonight.
Well, they're out of rhythm, and again, it's not so much three-point shooting, but because they're not in sync, they're not getting rhythm threes.
That's a miss. He might even get a little bit tired, too. Tubby left him on the floor and rested Rondo and used some of his Warriors. And West Virginia tonight is tied for 25 from the 3.
Kentucky just completely taking the paint, the lane, the basket area out of West Virginia's offensive attack. That's the intent of the zone defense, to keep your players out of foul trouble, to protect the basket area, put your big people in the lane where they can rebound, control the paint.
Crawford kicks to Bradley. 4 on the shot. Crawford misses. That back by Sims, and Crawford slashes. Sims saved it.
Out of the Bay Area, De La Salle High School through Salt Lake Community College. Good looking prospect. Area's taking a charge. He's everywhere, omnipresent.
Young drove right into him.
We've seen him rotate defensively to help his teammates a couple times.
Coach Beeline a little bit unhappy with the turn of events here. The Wildcats, a little daylight again. We are back in Kansas City. The battle for third place in the Guardians Classic. Up next, of course, it'll be Iowa, Texas, and then here on ESPNU, the defending national champion North Carolina Tar Heels. You talk about big-name teams on ESPNU. Here we've got West Virginia and Kentucky. Later, you've got North Carolina playing Cleveland State. And we will switch over to ESPN2 for the Iowa battle against Texas for the championship of the Guardians Classic.
Plus, you got Mike and Mike in the studio, the Mike and Mike show, Jarvis and Hall.
Goes back. Working with Bradley, Sims. Here's Carter. He'll get some playing time again. Off his hands. Deflected out of bounds. West Virginia ball. Kentucky up by 10. Aaron, what did Coach Beeline emphasize?
Well, he was stressing the fact, Brent, that 11 minutes left in the game, 10 points means nothing. He was also saying, we don't need to be rushing offensively. We need to be working defensively. But remember, he was stressing it to us before the game. He was a little worried about his team being tired. He told us the huddles is when you get a break. Work your butts off out there. I'm quoting him, by the way, guys. Exactly.
And, there's a turnover, and Rondo short, but Carter back. And then Kentucky fans explode. They wanted to see something positive out of the youngster, and they are indeed. They were down after last night's loss, and much more enthusiastic about their team here tonight. Obviously, they played a much better game. Yarbrough kick it back outside, and knocking it down. Mr. Pittsnocker. 21 points and 7 rebounds here tonight. Bradley at the other end. Rebound. Tap to Gansey. Inside to Pittsnogle. He traveled. Crawford did a very good job on him defensively underneath.
Yeah, not much room in there. They're trying to dribble in a closet. A small closet at that. You got to take that shot right up. Or kick it back out. Also caught the ball under the basket area. He's trying to get in position for a better look.
Pittsnogle gets it back. Nichols putting it down from the corner. Beeline, yes, knocks the 3 ball down, and with a life back to within 6. 9 minutes to go. And Tubby wants a 30 over there. And we're going to take a full break, it looks like. Nothing like the coach's son nailing the 3 ball to pull you back to within 6. Come on back. We could have a great ending again.
A lesson for parents about the power of your cable remote. Yes, you can surf the channels with it. But did you know? The cable remote can help control what your children watch. It's pretty easy. First hit menu or settings, then scroll through the on-screen options to set your password. Finally, block the programming by channel or rating. And talk to your children about why certain programs are not for them. Set your parental controls. It's easy. For more details on parental controls and tools, go to controlyourtv.org.
For 3 days in November, 2 conferences lay it all on the line.
Never count them out, ever!
When it's over, only one will reign supreme. ESPN presents
The Guardians Classic has been the place to be. Sitting on a 6 and then 2 terrific games, right down to the last minute. Aldridge for the Longhorns against West Virginia, put them ahead, and watch his defensive block on Gansey. Sending them on into the championship game tonight against the tenacious Iowa Hawkeyes, a veteran team led last night by Greg Bruner. He just would not be denied, creating himself all kinds of opportunities. And then the freshman Tony Freeman slapping it free, the steal that sealed the deal. And Kentucky, the number 7 team, went down at the hands of the Hawkeye fans, and there were a lot of them here tonight, eager to watch their team, and the Longhorns are here. Rondo, Sparks, Sims, Perry, Crawford on the floor. Rondo ships Crawford, the 3 ball, air ball into Pittsnoggle's hands. Not what Tubby wanted to see in that situation. West Virginia can strike. Pittsnoggle, yes, he does. Cuts it in half.
The veteran team, Brent, they're not going to go away. Been in a lot of big games in the Big East conference tournament, last year's NCAA run.
They have hit Tubby Smith at Kentucky with a 9-0 run at just the right time. Rondo penetrates. Perry covered up inside. 3 on the shot. Rondo in and out. And it's Kentucky basketball. So an opportunity eludes the Mountaineers, but it was Kevin Pittsnoggle at the top of the circle, making it a 3-point basketball game. The battle for 3rd place continues in Kansas City, and it's another dandy.
By call back in the youth studios. Another update on Michigan State and Gonzaga. Adam Morrison, 25 points yesterday, already has 23 today. Zags locked up in a tight one with the Spartans. Brent, I know the coach I'm with would always have loved a Morrison player. I bet the coach you're with feels the same.
I'm not sure about that either, Mike.
I can't get over that Prefontaine hairstyle. The Mickey Dolan monkey's look, the mop top. Something about the Northwest. Dick Al had that hairstyle. Ridenour, Luke Jackson, now Morrison. Something about that area of the country.
Moss, he has been a very effective wing scorer here tonight. Knocked down 3 big jump shots. Makes it 59-53. Kentucky being aggressive here with its man-to-man this time. Abear the cutter. It's 2 back, 59-55, and it's 4.
Kentucky the man, and right away West Virginia able to get a slash and cut, easy layup from the weak side.
Rondo knifes in, turns it over. Elon will slow it down. Trailing by 4. Mountaineers deserve a lot of credit for hanging tough in this one after that 20-0 run by Kentucky in the first half. There's Abear, daylight, missed it. stayed with it. That was almost like an NBA continuation play.
Good penetration by Sparks, and we've seen Sims does a nice job. I mentioned Adrian Dantley. He plays at a pace, not rushed. So often when players get inside because of the fear of the block shot or the big men, they rush. Good body control there after getting whacked hard on the wrist. Able to maintain his body control and still finish.
Gansey and Collins back in for West Virginia. Young and Nichols out.
Remember, Dantley had that presence of mind in traffic around the basket area. So effective at little jump hooks and drop steps. Sims has a lot of that Adrian Dantley in his game around the basket area.
Away from the ball. It's on Moss. 14 fouls apiece right now with 6:12 to go, and this crew just does an excellent job of keeping a flow to a basketball. Jump hook, no. Kentucky all over the rebound.
Nice job, Kentucky digging down on the ball there. Good heads up.
Pass by Rondo to Perry. Heads up point guard play on that pass.
Love to see a point guard look up the floor. Look up the floor at any point, pass, advance the ball when you have an advantage in numbers.
Was 3, now it's 8, and the Mountaineers need one of the long balls. Saved, bounce low, Pittsnoggle kick back outside. They'll go for it. Can't get it. Tap back though to Collins. Yerbear on the drive. Pittsnoggle will take it. Does it again.
Great jump stop by Beeline, a reverse pivot behind the basketball. There's Pittsnoggle for the wide open look. Defense collapses off that penetration. Great time to kick the ball back out on the perimeter.
Pittsnoggle has just tied his career high with 27. And Sparks answers with the 3 ball.
At the shootout in Kansas City, Brent.
Another career high here. This is Sparks. 7 threes he has, and that ties his career high. His next one, and remember, they're playing with that 3 line about a foot deeper around the floor than it usually is. Experimental rule. Air misses. Kentucky wrapping it up. Great test of these youngsters. Quick turnaround after a tough loss both sides last night.
Well, you love to see that resiliency. Get knocked down. That's an experience you can learn from, get a report card, but how you respond is the most important thing.
And Pittsnoggle again missed the front end of 2 one-on-ones last night with the game on the line, and he has come back here with a career high. And there is Rondo on the inbounds pass, and it's back to 10.
Breakdown defensively, lack of vision, and the baseline out of bounds play. Lost his man. Beeline turned his head there.
Collins on the drive.
This Kentucky team is only going to get better because of their youth. Each practice and game.
Oh, Moss. You know, Tubby put him in the starting lineup tonight, and he has really responded in this game. Gives them an 11-point lead, sort of an unsung hero. We talk about Sparks, but Moss with some huge hoops in this game.
Solid defender as well.
Pittsnoggle with a great pass to Gansey coming down the baseline.
Important basket there to stay within striking distance.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It may be November, but we're seeing February and March emotion here in Kansas City, Steve.
Well, so much at stake. No one wants to go away 0-2 from the Guardians. You see the nice dump off here by Pittsnoggle. He draws the traffic, gets the swarm inside, hits the cutting Gansey to the basket. That's the presence of mind, the big fella. and then helping him make a second play by Gansey slashing the basket when he sees his man turn his head to give help. Heads up basketball.
There's some body of tattoos. Aaron told us last night he adds one every now and again.
Become the Dennis Rodman of the Big East with all those tattoos.
And become a proud papa after the first of the year. Gotta have room for the new baby's name somewhere. 71-62 to score. Kentucky leading West Virginia. 3 minutes to go. Sparks and Moss. Coming around the corner, the foul on West Virginia. So Kevin Pitstock tonight putting up 27. But at the other end, Patrick Sparks has put up 23. 7 threes. 71-62 timeout. Coverage of the Guardians Classic third place game continues. Kentucky 71, West Virginia 62. Coming up next, Cleveland State, North Carolina. Aaron, what's the connection between the Cleveland State Vikings and this game?
Well, we've got a family of networks with ESPN, and then we've got a family here with West Virginia, Cleveland State. Mike Gansey's brother Steve plays for Cleveland State. Gansey's mother is in town, so after this game, they're going to try to find a watering hole, if you will, and try to find ESPNU somewhere here in Kansas City to cheer on Cleveland State, guys.
There'll be a good sports pub. Is that what you mean by watering hole?
That's
what I
think. You know, I clear that up.
Okay. Sparks is cut off here for Kentucky. I got the Sims and Rondo. 2:49. Tubby wants this one in a big way. And West Virginia, Coach Beeline looking for that comeback. Sims open underneath. Tubby's wife was up cheering that one. She's right behind the coach up there, and she gets into it too now, folks. There she is.
That's the real associate head coach.
That's the boss.
Mrs. Smith in the house.
Bear lost it, and then fouled. 73-62. And 7 fouls against West Virginia and only 4 against Kentucky. This has been a very impressive turnaround for the Wildcats. They did not hang their heads.
No, typical of a Tubby Smith team. Tubby Smith toughness. Their teams always continue to get better. Different stages of the season. November, December, you're learning about your team. It's about peaking in March. Obviously, you want to win every game, but you want to learn from your setbacks.
He was on Rondo. It is tough love with Tubby. When you go watch him work his team, he drills them hard. And but he is a man who has always cared about his athletes in a lot of different ways. Very impressive person. West Virginia trailing it now by 12. Kentucky has built its biggest lead of the night. 2 minutes to go in the game.
So clearly the clock is the ally of Kentucky, the enemy of West Virginia.
Beeline can't find the 3. Long rebound for West Virginia. Beeline will put it back. Knocks one of them down. The long ball is still there for them. 74-65, 147. And we can look ahead now, I think, to the championship game, which will be coming up a little bit over an hour from now, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And Steve, what's your feeling about the Iowa-Texas game?
Well, it's going to be interesting, Brent, because Texas, a young, very talented team, and then you've got the veteran Hawkeye team, and they've been there before as a group through Big Ten Conference tournament play where they have to play 2-3 games in a row, and that's what this situation is set up. They don't have as deep a bench as Texas, but I think the edge in terms of experience goes to Iowa in terms of quickness and depth. You got to look at the Longhorns.
How does it feel to be on ESPNU here?
You gotta love it. 8 million viewers.
You've been on it before.
We're way out in front. Oh yeah, we did the NBA pre-draft camp show. We did the draft show from there. Oh, we're all over it.
Feels good. It makes me feel
yeah.
young to be on ESPNU with Mike and Mike.
Mike and
Coach Lab.
Hold down the fort.
Everybody. Boy, we've had a good one here. The Guardians Classic. 2 fine games last night. Here tonight, Kentucky bouncing back, lead at 74-65. West Virginia not going quietly into the night, however. And, you know, talking to Beeline, you know, he realizes that when the committee looks back at these games, when they're going to decide who's going into the tournament, a win in this one against this class opponent would matter.
Well, it puts you in the hole. When you look at West Virginia, they still have to go to UCLA. They play LSU. They have a tough schedule. They play Oklahoma. So they're going to get some more chances against top competition. And obviously in the Big East, there'll be plenty of matchups there to redeem themselves.
It's a rebound for Young. Fouled. He'll shoot a pair. Mountaineers wanted that field goal and won. Wouldn't stay down. Give themselves a life here, though, with these free throws. And, of course, this really was their bugaboo last night. It cost them the game against Texas. In the last minute, they missed the front end of 3 one-and-ones. And here they get a bounce. Nichols, Nearbear.
Brent, I'll tell you what Kentucky effectively did at the defensive end of the floor was take away the basket area, the paint area. No backdoor cuts, no curls in the lane, no slashing in the lane, no easy shots in the interior, and they forced West Virginia to shoot 34 three-point shots from beyond the arc. And West Virginia likes the 3, but there needs to be more of a balance, and against a man-to-man defense, they tend to get more of a balanced attack. Didn't have tonight.
You said 34. I think in their 2 wins, getting into the final 4 of the Guardians, they averaged only 29. So you're right. They forced them into that long ball. And it was never a comfortable zone for them. As Sparks dribbles some seconds away. Keeps it out on top now. They don't want to put him on the free throw line either. But the foul is called. This is the player that Tubby wants camped out on that free throw line. 7 threes for Sparks. Tying a career high. 23 points overall, and his first time on the free throw line.
He does a nice job. Look at the legs being flexed, getting that bend. So he gets the lift. We talked about last night, Pittsnoggle maybe a little fatigued, shot the ball straight-legged, came up short. Watch how he bends at the knees to get that lift, a little flexion.
A 10-point lead. 30-second timeout called by Tubby. Down 10 and 110, and why not keep firing the long ball? Now, speaking of Sparks, you fans in Kentucky, you remember last December against Louisville, there was a furious Wildcat comeback. Sparks firing the 3. He was fouled. Cats down 2. Time running out. 1, 2. Stepped to the line and made all 3 in a dramatic comeback victory. And the new hero in town, Patrick Sparks, and here tonight he helped lead Kentucky back in the battle for 3rd place. It's going to be a nice team, Stevie. You know, Coach Tubby and that staff, they need to develop some of the big guys as time goes on, but you've got to be impressed with this team.
Well, it's in the racing form, Brent, which you can appreciate. You look, the names change, the players come and go, but the results are the same. Winning basketball. Tubby got it done. Sweet 16 at Tulsa, Sweet 16 at Georgia, a national championship here at Kentucky, dominating the Southeastern Conference. And you ask coaches, his peers, that compete against him, and they just say one way or another, Kentucky will always be strong, and not necessarily the dominant personnel at Kentucky or North Carolina or UConn. A mix of some players that have a chance to go to the next level. A lot of good college kids are just going to get their degree and go on and be regular citizens, and yet he finds a way to meld these teams, to mold teams into a winning program.
There's his point guard, stroking one from the free throw line. Grandma appreciating that.
Quite an effort tonight. Their contributions were seen.
Both of them. And they need him to make free throws. They've got to keep him on the floor. They don't want people just automatically putting him up there thinking he can't shoot free throws. That's going to be critical. He's coming back up again. Rondo does a lot of things very, very well. Here's the upcoming schedule. Liberty High Point, and then they've got that North Carolina game on the 3rd. Have to travel to Indiana. Looks like Coach Mike Davis has a terrific team, and of course the annual bragging rights game against Louisville and Rick Pitino. So it's a challenging schedule ahead, but that's how you get better, isn't it, Coach? You mix in some games where you're going to be heavily favored against some where it's a toss-up, and see what you've got.
You want a couple preseason tests to get an idea where you are before you get into league play and have to play on the road in your conference. So there's 3 stages to the season: non-conference, conference, and then the postseason. That's when you want to be at your best.
Lines off to the right. Gansey battles for the rebound. Sparks comes away. Final minute time now, and Kentucky going to be headed back with the 3rd place win. Their fans across the way up behind the Wildcat bench. They traveled in a lot of fans to the Guardians Classic. Won a couple games back home in Lexington to qualify for the Final Four. Lost a heartbreaker yesterday. And bounced back the very next day. Had a 20-0 run in the first half. Held West Virginia scoreless for about 9.5 minutes. And this one is over.
Zone defense and 3-point shooting for Kentucky, Brent. That was the story.
One final block by Sims, who made it a very impressive impact in JC transfer. And the Kentucky Wildcats are up for that handshake with West Virginia. So now the 2 teams will meet over there on the far side. (80-66). A 14-point win for the Wildcats in the SEC. And on ESPNU, it's Cleveland State and North Carolina coming your way next. Then over on ESPN2, in about an hour and 10 minutes, we will bring you the championship game of the Guardians between Iowa and Texas, the number 2 team in the nation.
He's smiling.
The errands with Coach Tubby Smith, so let's go to her now.
All right, Brent, thanks so much. Well, Coach, nice way for your team to bounce back. What was the biggest difference for them today?
Well, we were a little more aggressive. We changed up some of our pressure. We did a little more pressing today. And I think our guys, we did a better job of shot selection. You know, last night we took a lot of poor shots, bad shots. We played with a little more poise, a little more patience. And, you know, we did a good job attacking their 1-3-1. We've been working on it some, so I thought our guys did the right things. And to make our free throws down the stretch was key.
You go on that 20-0 run in the first half, and we talked about your zone there at halftime. Why was it so effective, do you think?
Pardon me, I'm sorry?
Your zone, why was it so effective?
Well, we got some smart kids. They were smart tonight, and we did a good job. We probably should have played it last night some, but really hadn't worked on it much. And West Virginia is a zone-type team, and I thought we'd use some of the same things that they've done against them, and it worked out. We extended, and that was a big key.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. We're going to move over to Patrick Sparks here. Coach talked earlier today about the adjustments that needed to be made after the loss yesterday. Talk about it. What did your team do differently today to bounce back?
I just think we were patient with the ball. You know, we took care of the ball, made good shots, and took good shots.
And then talk about the difference for you. What happened out there for you that was different today?
I just got in the zone. My teammates would give me the ball, and I was just knocking down shots.
It's early in the year. This is when you find out what your club is all about. What do you think you guys learned here at the Guardians Classic about your team?
So we had a lot of bounce back, and we came back from tough loss. We showed a lot of heart in our team, and we're going to build on this and keep getting some wins.
All right, Patrick. Thank you so much. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, there you have it, Aaron. Thank you. 80-66. Patrick Sparks, 8 of 13 from the field, 25 points. And coming up, remember on ESPN2, Texas and Iowa. We're going to send you back to the ESPNU studio. Here's Mike Hall and Mike Jarvis.